I thought I was done. I was giving up. Hi ladies, thanks for stopping by. My name is Helen. If you're new here, welcome. I started my YouTube channel just a couple of years ago when I was traveling abroad to Korea. I'm in Korea now in order to get fertility treatments abroad. And I wanted to share my story with everyone in the hopes that I can help somebody out there not feel as isolated, and also share information that might be helpful for your journey. And so yeah, that's what my channel's for. And also I have found it incredibly supportive to have this community of IVF warriors who are just so loving and kind and caring. And so I'm so grateful for this community. So thank you so much for being here on this journey with me. So I am still going through IVF at age 41, and I will be turning 42 very soon. And I'm pretty much on the last stretch of IVF. Like, I don't want to try for too much longer. I will keep you guys updated on my journey. I am currently going through a cycle right now, or I actually just finished my egg retrieval, and I do have a little bit of an update, which I'll be sharing very soon. So stay tuned for that. But today I wanted to talk about ovarian PRP. I had touched on it last time and said that I had gotten it a couple of times and asked if you guys wanted me to talk about it a little bit more. And it was a resounding yes. I got a lot of messages from everyone saying, yes, you would like me to talk about my PRP experience. Today, I will be talking about that. First of all, I should probably explain why I decided to get PRP. So I have a really low AMH. When I first started my IVF journey, my AMH was 0.06, and oh my gosh, that's really crazy, right? I think I must have not been feeling very well that cycle. AMH does go up and down, but that was the lowest that my AMH had ever been. And I always tested at the same lab. Yeah, I started IVF when my AMH was 0.06. And then it went back up. I definitely made some lifestyle changes and changed my diet. I feel like I exercised, not too heavily, but pretty regularly every day. And I definitely got my AMH up a lot. And I have a whole video on that as well. So I will link that up here if you guys have not seen that yet. I made that video last year. But since then, my AMH has been falling slowly again. And after all of the transfers that I went through last year, I went through 3 back-to-back embryo transfers. And after that happened, something happened to my fertility. My antral follicle count had completely crashed and gone down to 1 or 0 sometimes 2. Sometimes 3, but they would only be able to retrieve 1 egg per cycle. The doctors kept telling me that this was because I was just older, a year older than last year. So I felt really disheartened, but the doctors told me that this is normal. Being 41 years old, my fertility had declined rapidly from age 40. And so they told me that was the reason why I was only seeing 1 egg per cycle. Now I decided that I wanted to do something about it because I still knew that I had eggs left and I wanted to try my best. And actually a friend of mine who has POI, which is basically, you don't see any follicles if you have POI. You're basically going into menopause early if you have POI. She didn't see any follicles for a couple of years of stimulations, didn't see anything. And then she got PRP. She got it done, I think, 4 different times because her situation was so dire. And after getting it 4 different times, that's when she first saw her first follicle ever. And I remember they retrieved that egg, and that one egg turned into a blastocyst. And so over the period of a couple of years, she kept injecting herself with hormones, and she was able to collect 4 embryos. Basically, that's where I learned about PRP. I had heard it before, but I had never witnessed it working right in front of my eyes to somebody that I knew. And so I started paying close attention, and I remember everyone in my community, they would always leave me comments saying, get PRP, I recommend it. Or they would ask me to talk about PRP. And so I started researching more about it. And I decided, since I was only seeing 1 follicle per month, I wanted to do something about that. I refused to just think that this was the end for me. The doctor had told me that, this is natural. I am just a year older, and so now my egg count is a lot lower, and that's just the way that it is. And there's nothing that I can do about it. My hospital at the time did not offer ovarian PRP. They thought it was too experimental, and so they don't offer it to their patients. And so I found a separate boutique clinic to go to, and I asked them for a round of PRP. I think this was about a week after my egg retrieval. I found this clinic that would take me and that offered a standalone PRP. I went there and got my first round of PRP. This was back in October. And basically it's the same thing as an egg retrieval, basically. Like, the process feels similar. So first they draw your blood. Let me just read you guys the definition of PRP. PRP is a concentrated solution of platelets and growth factors derived from a patient's own blood. They take a lot of blood. It's not like your regular blood test. It is created by drawing blood, spinning it in a centrifuge to separate the platelets, and then injecting the platelet-rich portion into targeted areas of the body. PRP is commonly used in regenerative medicine to promote healing, tissue repair, and cell growth. In ovarian PRP, they basically take these growth factors inside your blood and they separate it, and then they inject it back into your ovaries. And that is called ovarian rejuvenation. The goal is to stimulate dormant follicles inside your ovaries that might be sleeping. They want to wake it up, and so that you might have more follicles in your next cycle of IVF. But mind you, PRP takes some time to work. And so it's not like something that you get and then the next month you'll see great results. It's not like that at all. Usually it takes a few months for it to actually start showing up. So I knew that I was doing this for like a way later egg retrieval in the future. Not only does it stimulate the dormant follicles, but it enhances blood flow and it improves ovarian function by delivering growth factors into the ovarian cortex. This is the outer layer of the ovary where the dormant follicles lie. The same as an egg retrieval, you fall asleep and then they inject the growth factors and then you wake up and it's like nothing ever happened. Yeah, it just didn't feel like anything really. It's not, I feel like egg retrievals can be painful sometimes. Not every single cycle, but sometimes it can be painful. With PRP, I didn't really feel much of anything. So that was good. So after I got my first round of PRP, nothing happened. The next cycle, when I was getting my egg retrieval, I was still only getting 1 follicle. If anything, I had an empty follicle. I had 1 follicle and it was completely empty and I was so devastated. I was like, oh, PRP doesn't work. I knew that it's supposed to work much later, but I think I was just really disheartened because we expect instant gratification, even when it's not reasonable to expect that in this day and age. So anyway, it was tough. But eventually what ended up happening is my doctor at the time ended up leaving the hospital. And I was like, you know what? My doctor's gone. I might as well try a different hospital. And so I decided to pursue a round of IVF at a different clinic that did actually offer PRP. And I went there specifically because I knew that they offered PRP. They don't offer standalone PRP, so I couldn't go to that hospital to get my first round of PRP, but I knew that if you ask for PRP, they do give it to you while you're during an egg retrieval. So I decided to go to this hospital. It's called Maria Hospital. And my doctor was very kind. I thought that she was a great doctor. She has a very different approach. We did one round of a very low dose. Actually, it wasn't low dose. It was a pretty strong dose. It wasn't a mini IVF, now that I think about it. All of my cycles are starting to run together, so forgive me. So we did one regular stimulated round, and then afterwards we ended up doing one natural cycle, which means that she didn't give me any injections for that second cycle. During my first cycle with her at this new hospital, she gave me PRP. And this is 2 months after my first round of PRP. At this point, I'm just like, let's just do whatever is necessary and we'll see if it works or not. I don't even know if it'll work, but we'll try. I ended up doing 2 more cycles there, 2 more egg retrievals there. And then I actually did a fresh transfer. This was my 4th transfer ever. And unfortunately, that transfer did not work out, obviously, because I'm still going through IVF. But I think now I've toughened up so much that it doesn't hurt as much. I mean, it actually does hurt the same, but I recover much faster. And yeah, I think I was okay. So when that transfer did not work out, I decided to go back to my original hospital. There's a lot of going back and forth. I had embryos left stored at this hospital that I couldn't move over to the next hospital without potentially damaging them. So that's the reason I ended up going back to this hospital. So at this point, I don't even care who my doctor is. I just want to transfer my last couple of embryos that I have left and go. And I'm not even that hopeful. I know that my chances are super low. And so yeah, I chose my doctor. He just happened to be a specialist for advanced maternal age. He's known for getting the oldest woman in Korea pregnant at 57 years old, which is pretty late in the game. He got that done. And to my surprise, he's just like the nicest doctor. Like I haven't really had that. Somebody who's super nice and welcoming. He's the type of person when I come to see him, he's, oh, Helen, he's kind of like that. Like, how are you doing? And so he really kind of like puts me in a very positive mood every time I go and see him, which I truly appreciate. None of my other doctors were like that before, so he always puts me in a good mood, which is good. I was not expecting anything, but we did an ultrasound when I was there, and he saw some follicles and he said, hey, if we're gonna do some transfers and if we have frozen sperm that's stored at our hospital anyway, you might as well do another egg retrieval. So I ended up just deciding that day that we will do another egg retrieval. The follicles were really slow to grow. Usually it takes me about 10 to 12 days of stems to get to an egg retrieval. But in this case, it took, I think, about 18 to 20 days. I can't remember exactly how many days, but it was much longer. And so I was on stems for many more days. We even increased the dosage in the middle because my follicles were so slow to grow. I don't know why this was happening, but once we increased the dosage, we started seeing more follicles pop up. And the crazy thing is that a lot of them were growing at the same rate, which doesn't happen to me often. Usually I have one giant dominant follicle and then a couple of little ones if I have other ones at all. This is a problem for me during almost every cycle, the dominant follicle. We've tried so many different things to suppress that dominant follicle so that it can grow with the little ones. I can't say that it never worked, but it never worked the way that it worked this cycle when we weren't even really trying to evenly grow them. So it was a pleasant surprise. And the crazy thing is that we saw 7 follicles, potentially 8. I think the 8th one was like really tiny, but still 7 follicles. We went from 1 follicle to 7 follicles in the course of a couple of months. And so I started thinking about what could that be? Like what caused my antral follicle count to go up like this? And I thought, okay, it must be the PRP, because it had been 4 months since I got my first round of PRP and 2 months since I got my last round of PRP. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's maybe starting to work. So that was just my best guess. I think it was the PRP. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see what the ultrasound says in my next cycle. So in my last egg retrieval, I was able to collect 6 mature eggs, and luckily 4 of them fertilized and 2 of them were frozen as day 3 embryos. And I do believe that these babies are on the healthier side compared to the ones that I had before. So I'm just feeling incredibly lucky and blessed that I even have an opportunity to pursue this again. I thought I was done. I was given up. I just wanted to transfer the rest of the embryos that I had from before, knowing that they weren't great quality, and just get the heck out of Korea and never look back. So that was my plan. But, you know, we make plans and God laughs. In this case, I was very glad that he was laughing. And it's crazy because when you have a win like this, you often want so badly to celebrate and get super excited, and it's hard to contain that excitement. But for me, I'm trying to suppress. Not suppress, but just keep things neutral, because I think I've been through IVF long enough now to know that I need to emotionally regulate if I'm gonna survive this. So it's great news, and I'm taking the win that I have 2 embryos frozen, 2 new embryos frozen. I had 2 old embryos frozen from before, so now I have a total of 4 embryos. Now we're thinking about the next steps and thinking about what would be best. I will keep you guys updated. It might take me a little bit longer to update from the actual happening of events so that I have time to process things, but I will update you guys a little later, so stay tuned. I hope my experience with PRP gives you a little bit more information about it. I would say that I'm glad that I got it done, even if I didn't see any results, just because of the fact that if I hadn't gotten it done, I feel like I would have always looked back and regretted it. I wanted to try everything that I possibly could because my situation is pretty dire. My AMH did not go up after PRP, but my antral follicle count did, by 7 times actually. I guess I was one of the lucky ones because my doctor actually told me that about 4 out of 10 women see results with PRP. Not everyone sees results. It's still experimental. It's not something that's proven. It's not something that all hospitals and all doctors will recommend. Remember, I had to go to a different boutique clinic to get standalone PRP because my current hospital did not offer it. They don't believe in it. So, it is what it is. But I think that it did work for me. And the reason why I kept trying it also is because in Korea, it's incredibly affordable. I believe that I got mine for $350 or $60 USD per time. Hold on, let me just look it up and make sure that's right. Yes, so currently 500,000 won is $342 USD as of today. But that's how much I paid for PRP. A lot more affordable than in the States or maybe somewhere else, wherever you're from. I think it's a great idea to come to Korea to quickly get PRP if you guys are here, and also get some skincare treatments while you're at it because Korea is known for beauty. This is definitely something that I can help connect you to if you're interested in traveling here for that. So yeah. Let me know if you guys have further questions on this. I'm so happy that I was able to share my experience with you, and I'm so happy that PRP worked for me. Just a disclaimer though, I didn't just get PRP. I was still doing the lifestyle changes like the fertility diet, the exercising, taking melatonin and all the supplements. I went for hour-long walks every single day. I did all the healthy stuff that you're supposed to do. And on top of that, I also did take DHEA for, I think, 3 months. My doctor actually told me to take it, even though my DHEAS levels were very high. She was like, it doesn't matter. You're in your 40s. Take it. So it went against everything that I had read in It Starts with the Egg. But I listened to her. Maybe that helped. I don't know. It did mess up my skin and my hair, but whatever. So if you guys want me to talk a little bit more about my experience with DHEA, I have a long history with that as well. So let me know in the comments below if you would like to hear about that too. Thank you guys so much for listening to my story and being on this journey with me and sharing your thoughts and your comments and letting me know what you want to hear on my channel. And I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful for this community. So I hope you know that, and just know that you're not alone if you're on this journey too. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and please subscribe to the channel, and please share it with somebody that you feel like might benefit from this video. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon.